Hey everyone, episode 2 of Here to Slay, Pageant Prep Edition coming at you. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for watching my last video on interview tips and tricks. If you haven't, go check it out. But thank you so much for all your comments and all of the support. I am absolutely going to continue doing these videos probably once a week. And because there was such an outpouring of response on this, today's video is going to be on what to pack for pageant weekend and how to pack. This is something which is so important, and I feel like you don't think about it because you're always thinking about swimsuit, walking, fitness, interview and whatnot. But how you pack and making sure that you are completely prepared for pageant weekend is so crucial and will make your life so much easier when you get there because it is super busy and pretty overwhelming. You're probably thinking, oh, all I have to do is pack, the week of the competition. I would actually say that's not true. You should start thinking about it like a month and a half or so before, because there's going to be so many things that you need to order off of Amazon, and especially with the holidays coming up, this is a good idea to get your friends and family to help you out with all the random things that start to add up expense-wise. So a couple of examples. Your biggest things that you are not going to remember are one, a power stripper, because backstage it's super chaotic. There are very few outlets available. And so one, you'll be everyone's best friend if you come in with this cute little power stripper and all of a sudden one outlet becomes, 4 or 5 different plugs. And you won't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I need to curl my hair, I need to straighten my hair or whatever, and there isn't an outlet available and you only have roughly an hour before you have to go on stage. So that's really important. Second thing is an extension cord. I know what you're thinking. This is going to be a really exciting holiday season for you. But this one's really important because you might not have a spot right near an outlet, even if there are outlets available. Third thing is a mirror. Okay, so I'm not talking about like a super long mirror or anything like that. I ordered mine off of Amazon for I think like $15 or $20, but it's gonna be like one of these mirrors that you would put down in front of you on a table, and it's gonna open up like glam lights and everything so that when you put on your makeup, you don't look like a crazy person because you did it with really bad lighting. True story, that's happened to me before in the back of a moving vehicle. Okay, so another couple things that are really important is that you want to make sure that you are warm and you're comfortable. Okay, so you're gonna have like your super cute, super fabulous outfit on for whether it's you're coming from interview or it's for rehearsals and whatnot that weekend, because you have to look the part, right? You have to look like the title holder. But if it's freezing, you are gonna just be miserable, and I get super cold so quickly. It's such a source of frustration for my fiance in our apartment because he likes it really cold. But I would say bring like a coat or a blanket or something. When I was at Miss USA, I went on Amazon, I think for like $15 or $20. I got this like black, because everything goes with black, like fur lined little wrap. So I felt very, very like celebrity-esque, and it was super cute, but most importantly, it kept me warm. So I would get one of those. And then the other thing is slippers. Okay, so you are gonna make all of the other girls jealous if you do this, because most of the time, you are actually going to be sitting down. Whenever you're on stage, wear the shoes that you're going to be wearing when you're actually competing. But when you're sitting down, there's really no reason for your feet to be getting cold, for them to be pushed into whatever heels you have. Get little fuzzy slippers. I would have like my blanket, I would have my little coat on, I would have my fuzzy slippers, and every time I stood up, I had my heels on. I took my blanket off, I looked perfect. But when I sat down, I was resting, I was warm. I didn't do this my first year, and I was so miserable by the time prelims came around that night, and my feet hurt so much. So learn from my mistakes. My second year I came back, and I remember girls around me going, oh my God, you're wearing fuzzy slippers? Like, I can't believe I didn't think to do that. I was like, nah, what can you do? The other thing that I would say is create a small little touch-up bag, because you'll have the time before you go on stage to do your makeup and whatnot. But by the way, I would try and show up if interview is not your first thing. the day of prelims and you just have a rehearsal day, I'd try and show up like as put together as possible. You can always build on, but you honestly, you never have you have enough time, and you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're freaking out. So what the TouchUp Bag is going to do for you is you can take all of your other stuff, like your makeup, your hair products and whatnot, put that in your suitcase once you're done. And when you are ready to go on stage, you just have this little bag with the most important things. So I'm talking like eyeliner, lip liner, things that you can just easily do either between swimsuit and gown, or just that last little bit that you want to do before you get on stage to make sure everything's perfect. But that way you just have this small little bag and you don't have your workstation totally cluttered with everything. So what I would say is before the weekend, kind of make your little touch-up bag, and that way you can just take that out and have that there. It was really, really helpful for me because I didn't have to be going around like 15 minutes before I went on stage, okay, I'm gonna take this and this and this and keep this all out. I had already determined ahead of time what I was gonna need. I know it sounds so oversimplified, but when you only have a really short period of time to get ready backstage, it's so important to like save every minute that you possibly can, because you don't want to feel stressed and be working up to the last second. You want to make sure that you get all of that done quickly, and then you leave time for you to get in the zone. For me, that's watching, a like funny clip on YouTube or listening to Adina Menzel's Defying Gravity. For you, it might be something else, but just make sure that you leave time for you to get in the zone and make sure that you're ready to go on the stage prepared. And that's what these different tips and tricks will do for packing. And finally, probably the most important thing to pack besides your wardrobe elements is food. So everyone has been on, I would say, a different diet because we all have different things that work for our nutrition. We all have different allergies. And so the biggest thing that I found my first year was that I needed to bring food to keep my energy up. I needed to bring water to keep hydrated. So you'll have lunch and you'll have breakfast and whatnot, but there isn't really time to snack or anything like that. So I would always put my stuff backstage, and then I would have a small little bag. So it's also important to pack. And I would have things like my slippers, and I mentioned my blanket, but I would also have snacks and water. And so I make sure you bring stuff that's non-perishable, right? Because you're not gonna be carrying around a cooler. So I always pack things like a little baggie of almonds or protein bars if you guys like those types of things. I like RX bars. Some people don't eat them before they go on stage, but I always find that I really, really, really need protein. And it's just an easy way to pack basically protein without having to have a cooler. Another big one is tuna pouches. I know it's really disgusting to be eating tuna and smelling that and everything. Like, I actually love tuna, just to make sure that I ate like small meals throughout the day rather than like big meal at breakfast or big meal at lunch and then feel really bloated. I would also bring a couple pieces of fruit, like an apple, something that's not gonna perish easily, that's not gonna get squished in your bag and then get stuff everywhere. But it's really important to bring those items because I didn't do it my first year and I was starving. I'm not kidding. I think by the end of pageant weekend, I lost like 2 pounds or so because I didn't want, when breakfast or lunch or dinner came, they provided amazing food, but I can't eat big meals all at once to sustain myself throughout the day because I bloat really easily and I have stomach problems. And so I was really worried about that happening. So I learned my second year, just bring like small little bags with the things that you would normally eat that are non-perishable, and you will be so happy that you did. For the night after prelims, bring something, like if it's chocolate that you love, that you have been denying yourself, if it's a cookie, if it's Cheez-Its, if it's Starburst. I'm a huge Starburst fan. Bring something so that you can kind of like have a little something before you go to bed. I promise it's not going to make the difference in how you look the next day. It really isn't. And it'll just kind of give you something to look forward to and be happy. Oh, and the final thing. Okay, so I'm like a huge good luck charm type of person. And so I always bring like a little stuffed animal with me, or I had a little elephant that my mom gave me this year. and Miss USA, one of my best friends gave me this little token that I brought with me. And every time I looked at it, it just made me happy and smile and think about all the people that were supporting me. Maybe you have affirmations that you wanna look at, little note cards, things like that. Make sure you pack them because it can be a long, overwhelming weekend. And you're not going to be able to see your family or talk to your family and friends a lot. So it's important to have that stuff with you. All right, so I know that was kind of a boring one, guys, but I think it's really important to make sure that you start now, make your list, put in your orders on Amazon, tell people for the holidays what's going to be helpful for you with the pageant coming up, and just start to put together your packing situation. Know what bags, know your small little bag, your TouchUp bag, and make sure that you start doing this before the week of the pageant, because you're gonna wanna get your spray tan, you're gonna wanna get your dress steamed, all these different things that you don't wanna leave till the night before, because believe me, I did it my first year because I was super busy at school and it was a disaster and I basically got no sleep. So learn from my mistakes. That is it for today. Sound off in the comments if there's anything that you think I missed that you always bring to pageant weekend. My list is definitely not exhaustive. I just went over the things that I think people normally don't think about. So obviously there's tons of other stuff to pack, like makeup and hair stuff and everything, but these are just the things that I think can kind of take you over the hump in making sure that you pack everything perfectly and you are ready to slay the stage. I'll be back next week with a new topic. Let me know what you want to see more of. Thanks.